Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Grimlock and he is in the Smolensk, a tier 10 Russian cruiser. He's on the map hotspot in a 3-point domination game. And interestingly enough, he's the only tier 10 here on his team. There is a tier 8 carrier and there is one enemy raider, a booster. So this replay is actually a bit old. I got this I think a month ago. Right after the last time I featured a Smolensk, I just thought we'd all needed a little bit of a break until I show you this ship again. But this replay is just too good to not show. And trust me, it will be more than a Smolensk just hiding in smoke and shooting. Obviously there will be some of that, but it's going to be exciting. Now also, this Smolensk here is not using the range module, so he has 16.6 kilometers range. Which means that Iowa is currently a little bit too far away. So he is approaching this island here, and that should be a reasonable spot to be in. The only raider they have is a booster, so it won't extend to here. I mean, it depends where the booster is, but most likely. He can use this island maybe to lob shells over it, and maybe he doesn't need his smoke. I have a feeling the Mogador here is just trying the same thing. And look, there is the booster. And the booster is too far away. So off we go, and we'll start shooting some enemies there. Now on the A side, the Yugomo has taken the A cap, that looks quite lovely, and well, reasonable force from the friendlies there, so all they have to do now is hold the A cap. Meanwhile, B looks like it's going to the enemy pretty much for free, because we have two destroyers at C and no one at B. I mean, I can understand that the Mogador didn't want to go tapping. But actually the enemy managed to grab C because for some reason I'm not sure what the Yugomo is doing over there. I'll be honest with you, like, I would personally use the islands here in the north. Like, there is this small island here in... Well, if you look at the minimap where my mouse is. So basically you can sit behind this island and just contest endlessly and be reasonably safe. So there shouldn't be anything happening to you, even if radar and other stuff happens. I guess the carrier is kind of a threat, but if there are cruisers close by, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But you know, instead the Yugomo is in a very weird spot, because if he gets raided over there, ships like the Friedrich might even get shots at him. So it's quite a risky spot to take, and he's even contesting the camp. Now I know that a lot of people would consider it rather boring, like sitting in your destroyer in a camp and just contesting it and you feel like you aren't doing anything. But you gotta remember, if you give that camp to the enemy, now the enemy is free to move out of it and do other stuff, and they just gain a constant advantage. If you are contesting the camp, the enemy has to contest it as well. And that's just basically a stalemate, and a stalemate is usually a lot more profitable than giving the enemy an advantage. But be that as it may, our booster here is... not booster, our Smolensk here is just merrily chipping away on that Iowa. And he's even going with armor piercing, so I guess it feels slightly less dirty, because at least the enemy hasn't 4 fire skill. But the smoke has run out, and obviously now he got a move on, but managed to hide behind an island break. Well, okay, he's spotted. So the Yugomo is back inside the camp, and he's trying to get, once again, like the Yugomo's position seems rather risky. I mean, there isn't a huge force here on the, I guess, in the middle, that might get firing arcs at the Yugomo. I'm not even sure if the Iowa can, but the Iowa might just be a threat there if the booster raiders. And of course there is no guarantee that the booster will raider. A lot of raider ships only raider if they have shots themselves and not for the team. Sometimes they raider for their team and then nobody is shooting the enemy. It's a bit... In random battles, teamwork is more like an accident often. Expected, I guess. Now the enemy Chatland here is pretty close. The problem is he's going to disappear into smoke and Hydro is not ready. So the friendlies here don't really have tools to hunt this guy down in his smoke. It looks like the Chambard is convinced to charge this destroyer in his smoke. Now this is a Jutland. Jutland smoke doesn't last very long. If I was this Chambard, I would probably just stop here and reverse a little bit. The Chobad is in a good position cover-wise. His nose is pointing towards the smoke. I mean, okay, the British can't do single launches. There might be some concern that there is a line. But if you are, I feel like if you're moving a little bit backwards here, that would be the most, well, the safest way to play this. But the Chobad is charging, and well, Smolensk is backing him up because he doesn't wanna leave the Chobad on her own. And well, the Chobad didn't take too much damage. The Jutland waited too long to run away. And that's basically why we have a Smolensk here, because 5.6 kilometers this Jutland is wrecked. Unfortunately, there was a second destroyer around the Yugumo, and the Chobad got wrecked. So ship-wise, this is looking like a disaster. Now the friendlies have 2 caps. Well, there goes one enemy, I suppose. And well, Smolensk is back in her element, hiding in smoke and just raining death and destruction upon others. For example, a Yugumo that just got spotted by the carrier. Now let's hope the carrier can keep that Yugumo spotted. Because at this range, the Yugumo is probably not going to escape. Unless he can disappear in smoke, and it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's a little bit late with the smoke Yugumo. 11 hit points. Can we get those last 11? Yes, we can. So, oh, low health Chobad. Let's just help out over there. We have an Iowa there kiting away, it looks like. I guess he was overwhelmed at the A side. Not entirely convinced that the Hippa and the Iowa are, well, doing this the right way, let's put it like this. I feel like, why is the Iowa like in the B line? If he wanted to retreat, why didn't he retreat more like this? I mean, you could argue that he didn't want to be like shotted by the other Iowa, Asconi and Musashi there in the south. I guess there is a little bit of broadside going on if you're going like this. We will see. Now the Iowa is hopefully going to turn around, meanwhile on Les Charles. The problem is the friendlies could use a little bit of the objectives. And well, we have a strong defensive force at sea going on, but the Hippa and the Iowa are currently not in a position to really help out here. And there is an Iowa. Now the bright side here is that Smolensk is very hard to citadel, because usually you just depends. So the very weak armor of Smolensk is often working in her favor. And oh, can he dodge those troops? There is a random Yugumo appearing. Smoke's almost ready. But just because it's hard to citadel Smolensk doesn't really mean that it's impossible. And getting so close to a battleship always has quite a bit of risk involved. But smoke's ready again, torps are ready. Then again, smoking is probably not going to do much, considering that the enemy is getting really close and there is no one else spotting. So that was quite a bit of chunk of health he lost there. But with the insane DPM, might just found an Iowa. And you see he's going armor piercing here, because this isn't about fires, this is just about raw DPM here. And keep in mind that even with IFHE, I'm not sure if he runs IFHE, the penetration on the Smolensk's high explosive shells is pretty crappy. You usually take IFHE not against battleships, but because it allows the Smolensk to arm cruisers very effectively. Now Grimlock here has decided that he didn't want to stay inside the camp. Might have been a good choice because there were torpedoes coming and he was spotted. And there might just be quite a few ships here that want to do him harm. And also he's found Prince Eugen. So it's just, Prince Eugen is just showing enough broadside that those armor piercing shells are doing quite a lot of work there. I mean, maybe fault angling wouldn't matter, but it's... well, it would have mattered. So, meanwhile, the Yugomo appeared here again. The carrier once again added and showing... And that's going to be close with that torp. Like, I think one of the torps were first... Ooh, he got hit there. That was close. When the torps first were spotted, I feel like he was a little bit too greedy there to use his rear guns on the Yugomo. But on the bright side, I am feeling this Yugomo will not escape because the carrier is doing a good job of keeping this guy spotted. And well, at the bright side, there is still 2 heals remaining, and oh, he's detected. Oh, we have planes incoming, and so he's immediately going to smoke. Now, it doesn't look like an enemy ship can shoot him, but the planes are more than enough to finish him off, and holding on to that smoke would have probably been a very costly mistake. It's a good job here. Now he can, well, safely survive until his heal is ready. Now, I might have even turned off my anti-air here, because, well, the carrier can target, like, the traces of your anti-air. And, well, it was getting rather low here. But, I mean, we got a heal now going, and everything's fine. Now he can move out again. On the bright side, the friendlies are 1 ship ahead by now. On the less bright side, the friendlies are losing the last cap. Well, I mean, they are taking A, they are losing C, but they are behind on points, and it doesn't look like they're getting ahead on capsules anytime soon. It's still 7 minutes left, though. And, well, Grimlock is out of smoke screens. So, unless he can find some convenient islands, he might just be forced into some open water gunboating there. Now, it looks like the Wooster is not returning fire for whatever reason. I guess the Wooster is just trying to get into concealment, but that's some free damage there, and now the battleships appear. It's a lot less nice, and oh, Wooster decides to show herself again. Maybe he can finish that off. Now, with the low amount of health he has, even overpens are going to hurt like a lot. And that was a booster. So carrier is coming in here too. Now, if the carrier hiding behind an island is getting a lot less likely, because the carrier can just keep him spotted. Now, thankfully, those torp bombers are, well, those torps are easily dodged. And in the process, he's even dodging most of the Musashi shells, and he just, like, got 1 overpen or something like that. Now, he can't take many more overpens, but, well, if they actually get the penetration or even a cylinder, like, he's so done for. But last heal is going. At least there is that. Now, the friendlies are still over 100 points behind. And on paper, the friendlies have 2 camps, but that one is obviously contested. So, 5 minutes left. The friendlies will need to sink something. Now, there is still a pretty healthy Mogador there. And, well, we have the carrier coming in again. But this is... It was, I think, another overpen, and it also hit the steering. Like, there is 2 battleships, and it's about 10 kilometers. And he's at 9,000 health. And if he can, like, sink those battleships, that might even be game deciding. So it's not a situation you want to be in. Now, he is detected here once again, even though those battleships can't see him. And we don't see a plane symbol there. Well, now it's a plane symbol. The carrier is probably somewhere around here. The south. And oh, look at that Musashi just earned. Now the friendlies are finally might overtake the enemies with points. It's 4 minutes left. Yes, the friendlies are in the lead now. And, well, the friendly forces are moving through B here, so that's good. We also have torps away towards the Gascogne. Is the Gascogne even looking this way? Yes. Well, I mean, turrets are still turning. So will he get overpens? Will he get pens? Will he get citadels? Or will he just not shoot at all? I guess he will not shoot at all. Well, that works. And coincidentally, we are up to 9 kills. Grimlock has managed 9 kills so far. Can he get 10? I mean, by this time, this game is now won, even if the carrier can strike him down, which might be a possibility. There is no way this carrier can win at this point. The friendlies have finally taken a very strong lead. And now it's just a tasty carrier that's left. Well, slow and steady, it's going down. It looks like the other friendly ships, well, I mean, the armor should definitely be in range. Maybe they are just leaving this to Grimlock here. No, there are the shells incoming. But, well, they missed, so 10 kills still happening. And that brings us to the results. Grimlock earned himself 3,351 base experience, and he certainly turned this around. It looked early on like the friendly team was going to get wrecked, but you know, comebacks happen. Also, I'd like to point out the Lexington spotting was really helpful in getting those destroyers, so nicely done there. Grimlock achieved a Confederate, a Dreadnought, a Kraken, and a High Caliber. Well, technically 2 Krakens, I suppose, because, well, he sunk 10. But you only get 1. Scored almost 300,000 points of damage. And, you know, he did more than just spam high explosive. He even got quite a bit of armor-piercing damage in there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.